Hello everybody, I am going to be doing a review of this pen. This is a Noodler's Konrad Ebonite Flex pen. I just want to talk a little bit about what I thought about it, what my experiences have been as somebody who's kind of a bit of a newcomer to fountain pens in general, and what I think would be good. Would somebody else who's a newcomer like myself enjoy this? And how did I think it writes? What do I think of the looks? Did it perform well for me, and that kind of thing. So, as probably a lot of people already know, this is a flex pen. This is a Konrad Ebonite, which is from Noodler's, which makes a couple different other Ebonites. They have an acrylic, which I don't have, which just came out, but then they also have this Ebonite bodied pen and their regular pen here, which is the regular Konrad Flex pen. This is a Tahitian tortoise. It's plastic. That's what the body is. It's plastic of some kind. And people have already noted that it's just a little bit bigger, and it definitely feels a lot heavier and a little more substantial than the regular pen. The Ebonite one it just has this more kind of hefty feel to it. And what I got initially for was to figure out how to try out doing flex writing. I liked the Ebonite look to it. If you see, it's this really nice, beautiful brown with the little black striations in there. And I just got it because I just started getting into fountain pens, and I wanted to know what flex was about. And I didn't have money to spend on vintage pens, and I definitely wasn't about to get even a semi-flex pen like the Namiki Falcon. So, this was $40, and that seemed to be right around my price point at the time. And I tried it out, and I really, really liked it. I really liked the aspect where it could flex, and you could just get this really, beautiful, classic-looking line variation when you're writing. And when you didn't need it to, you could just write regularly. And I really liked that sort of aspect of it. The sort of spirit of how it flexes is something that I really took and I really enjoyed. But what I didn't like so much was just that this is not a starter pen, and I really need to do a couple things to get it to write exactly the way that I want it to, and I'm still going to have to do some other things just to get it to write the way that I think I would like. And that's one of the issues that people have talked, I think, about before, that the Noodler's pens are not they're not always, working right out of the box. And this was my experience as well. It didn't work perfectly out of the box. What I found when I first started writing is that you get a little bit of railroading, where, like, for example, if I write really fast with it now, like you can see, it starts to write okay, and then you get only the two the top and bottom lines, as opposed to the middle filling out like that. And that would happen all the time. It would happen, at random. Sometimes it seemed like it would be okay, and sometimes it didn't. Even if I flexed just moderately, like sometimes it would just poop out on me and stuff. And yeah, I kind of didn't like that aspect of it. I felt like it flexed really well, and it made my writing look really nice when it worked. But it didn't have the kind of ink flow that you wanted it to. And I found out later that the issue with that was because this feed here some of the feed channels, if you can see those little channels, did not connect perfectly right with the main feed channel up here that goes, follows along the same lines as the slit on the nib. And I had to basically take a little X-Acto knife and connect all these little bottom well channel things to the top main channel, so that it would actually kind of feed all the way out. All the ink that's trapped in there would feed all the way out into the out of the nib and actually write properly. And I didn't mind that. I'm a DIY guy. I don't mind doing things like that, but other people really might. And that's something that you really have to keep in mind with this particular pen, is that you have to be really comfortable with doing things yourself and doing little modifications, and nothing really drastic, but you have to be just comfortable with the idea of okay, this is not going to write perfectly, and it might be really interesting. It might have some kind of properties that you really like, but it's not necessarily going to be, a 100% perfect writer exactly as advertised. You're going to have to tinker with it a little bit. And I do not mind that. I did that, and it works fine now. I think that it writes pretty nicely. It writes really wet. Um, and I will show you that now by doing a little bit of writing sample. Please excuse my writing. I'm not really the best hand writer, but this is a let's see. Okay. Okay. I like the it writes. Okay, so you can see there, it has a really pretty good line variation right here. And now it works really well, except for like this little part here. I got a little railroading, and I just filled that in right now. It writes pretty decently. I think you need to have generally more like wetter inks. I've tried some drier inks in this. I tried a fast drying ink, and that did not seem to work all that well in terms of how it flexed. So you have to remember that it might not work perfectly depending upon which type of ink that you use. The Noodler inks that I've tried with it have worked fine. Like this is Air Corpse Blue Black, which I really love. It's a perfect, for me, it's the perfect blue black. And it just writes really nice and saturated, and gives you some beautiful little like hints of blue and green inside of it. And I'll talk about that maybe sometime later. But that's what I really like about this pen is that, yes, okay, so it flexes. You might have to do some things to figure out how it flexes and figure out how to make it flex the best for you. Let's see. I did like that it lays down a pretty nice wet line. The only problem with that is that for me in daily writing, a lot of times I would be writing in just a little notepad, and regularly it would just have a little smear. When you close the notepad, it would smear up, and the notes that you were writing would have little blotches of ink from you closing the pad and then opening it back up and seeing that the ink didn't dry up perfectly, and so now you've got sort of a mirror image of one ink thing that you wrote on the other page. And that's one of the things that I guess I just have to live with. Some other fit and finish issues that I kind of wanted to point out where when I first got this, there were some tiny little fit and finish issues. I don't know if you can see this, but there are little cylindrical lines that go along the course of the barrel, and I imagine that's probably from when whoever was going to try and turn it, turn this barrel and shape it, left these little lines from trying to, shaping it with whatever tools that they had, and it just wasn't ever polished out properly. That was a little bit, I just got this pen new, and, you don't ever want to see imperfections when you try and get something new, but that, was not the biggest deal to me. I knew that this was a $40 pen, not like a $100 pen. The other thing that I found that was a little bit of an issue was that there was a little nick here. Let me see if I can show you here in this with this. There's a little nick on the top of the there you go. There's a little nick here on the top of the cap, which I did not make. It's not like I dropped it or anything. It's just this little nick in the Ebonite that I guess was just there from manufacturing and stuff. And nowadays I tried to expect that, of course this isn't going to be perfect, but it would have been nice to get this to be have a little bit better fit and finish than it did. Other than that, I really think that it's a nice, interesting pen. I think that it's a great pen to start out with flex writing, but you're gonna need to do some things to get it to work. And hopefully that will be it.